Welcome back everybody, I'm Marcio, you're watching The Urban Man. So today was actually going to be part number 5 if I'm not mistaken of going solar on a budget series. But the weather is a little bit crappy outside, so I can't get the footage that I want. So we're going to do a little bit of a different video today. Today is going to be, should you go solar, should you go backup, or both? Let's get into it. So looking outside, it is raining quite a bit and overcast as hell. Can see no sunlight. Let's step into the garage and check out the inverter house. I will do a whole video on my setup and how everything is running, but I want to actually test the unit first properly, at least for about 2 weeks, before I can give a bit of a review on how the system has been working for me and how everything is running. So at the moment now we do have load shedding. I'm just going to jump into the menu here quickly, switch the screen on. So we are busy currently using solar and battery. We have load shedding. If I just quickly go through here, let me see if it can focus there. PV, there's the wattage. So even though we got no sun, we're still pulling 200 watts into the system, which is helping a little bit. So you can see from this symbol, that's our panels going into the inverter, going through into our DB board and giving the house power. And because we are not producing enough power, we are also using some battery. So if I just go, let me just find this button, see how much power we are pulling. Let me just skip through load. So we're on 17% load. And how many watts is that? We're pulling 927 watts at the moment. That's because we got I think my wife's busy, got the slow cooker on. So that's probably what's pulling most of the energy. Normally it's at about about 300 watts. The household running on standby. That's electric fencing, alarms and fridge and all of that. So it is a little bit high at the moment. So 200 watts is going through, and then the remaining is pushing out from the battery. All right, so let's get into it regarding, should you go backup? Should you go solar, or both? All right, so jumping in today's topic, subject of choice. What should you do? Go solar, go backup, or both? So depending obviously where you're staying, what your needs are, I would say look at that first. So for example, us living in South Africa, one of our main issues that we are having is obviously load shedding, as everybody knows, living in South Africa. And so if load shedding is what is making you look at going solar or backup, then obviously I would say the first option, maybe if you are on a bit of a budget and you can't get a full solar system with backup, I would say go backup only. So you're going to basically need your inverter and you're going to need your battery, your backup. So going into that, then you obviously have your various options depending what you want to power up. You're going to start looking at your inverters then. What do you need to supply power to? If it's only lights and your TV, you can go with a 3 kVA. That would suffice, more than enough. And if you're looking at powering more things like your fridge and that sort of thing, I'd maybe look at going like a 5 kVA if that's the case. And then if in future you plan on doing your whole house, I would say minimum at least about an 8 kVA to run most of the things. Even that, running a geyser might be pushing it. I think best option then would probably be 10 minimum if you want to run the geyser. But I wouldn't do that. I would look at another solution. So that's would be the first thing, and the cheapest option is getting a backup solution, getting your battery, getting your inverter, and you'll have a lot of savings there. Not only on the panels itself, but installation. It's not cheap doing a solar installation. You do need another box. You got an AC box, which is running from your inverter to your DB board. That's the protection there. Now, if you've got solar, from your solar panels going to inverter, you're going to have a DC box there. So there are a bit more costs involved going fully solar. Now, going solar. So why should you go solar? I'm talking now just about plain solar with no backup at all. Well, that will be more for the person that wants to obviously save costs during the day. You'll still be connected to the grid. It won't be just solar. You'll still stay connected to the grid. But during the day, you'll be supplying your own energy. You'll need your inverter still. You'll need your solar panels. And then obviously you're going to have an AC box and a DC box there still. So installation wise, it'll be quite a bit costly as well. The only thing you won't have is a connection obviously from your battery, your backup battery going to inverter. So you can go solar only, but I think cost-wise, it's not going to be viable. You'll save a little bit of energy during the daytime, but then come nighttime, you're still going to be using quite a bit. And like a day like today, that's why I was showing you the weather. You're not going to be producing that much power. So you're going to be running basically your grid. You won't be using much power. The solar won't be producing much power, so you won't be saving a lot of money in the long run. So going just solar with no backup, I don't know. For me personally, for my needs, I don't see any point in it really. I think having a backup solution is the best option in that sense, and not having panels. I would rather skimp on the panels for now and get the backup only. So now, why go both? Let's jump to that. So why go both? Why go solar with backup? Well, you're going to have two benefits. One, you'll save a bit of costs during the day because you'll be running your panels. Even like today, where it's a bit gloomy, you're still getting a little bit of power at least. But on good days, your whole house should be, depending obviously the number of panels you have, but your whole house should be able to run on through the panels. And then on top of it, you've got your battery backup. So on a day like today, when you don't have enough solar, it's actually the UV that is producing the power. When you don't have enough UV producing enough power, you've got your battery backup to give you power. Like now I've got load shedding. If I only had my panels, my house would be down. So I'm running from the panels and from the battery backup, which is a win-win. So the best of both worlds would be going solar with backup. But if you can't, I would say backup would be your first choice and option to go for. And then besides producing power during the day, another nice thing about having this system is, I'm sure everybody's experienced it, where it doesn't happen often, don't get me wrong, doesn't happen often, where you don't have power for a day or two because there's issues with the cabling, cables have been stolen or something like that. So if the sun is good, obviously, you will have your panels producing power for you, and it'll be charged. It should be sufficient enough. If you're just running a couple of lights in the house and that, you should have sufficient power from your panels pumping battery back into your backup, so at night you'll have power during the day, obviously once the sun goes down. So the best of both worlds is obviously going solar with a backup. That is my personal opinion. And lastly, I just want to close this video off. Well, before I close this video off, I just wanted to give some suggestions. A mate of mine had asked if I can please give a reference as to where I purchased my stuff from. I didn't do that in my previous videos. The reason being is I don't want people to feel like that is the only places that you can go and shop. Various stores have different specials at different times. So the best option is to shop around and go online and see what's the best prices you can find. But what I'm going to do is I am going to let you guys know where I got my stuff from. So my panels, I got them from Solar Inverter Warehouse. They're based in Johannesburg. I think, what area? It's close to the Tambo. I'll put, they've got an online store. I'll put that down in the description below so you guys can check them out. Last time I checked, all the panels were sold out. But go and have a look. In terms of value for money, quality panels, they were the cheapest that I found. Just be prepared if you do buy from them, you do wait quite a long time to collect your stuff. When you go there, they've got, I don't know, their whole process is a bit slow. Be prepared at least a minimum eight. Be prepared to wait at least an hour to collect your goods. Even if you place the order online, it takes a hell of a long time to get your stuff. So if you do order, they have inverters and everything there. You can grab all your equipment from there as well. I'll put that in the description below. My inverter I got from TheUrbanMan SA. Once again, they were the most budget friendly within my means of what I was looking for. They got various, mostly it's Sun Magic and 5-star, more your budget friendly options there. But they have ranges from the 3 kVA, I think up until 10 kVA or 8.5 kVA. I'm not 100% sure. Once again, I'll put a link to their website in the description below. And then lastly, battery. Battery was, I think, the most difficult thing for me to try and find. because I did find a couple of them, but every time I went back, once I was ready to buy, when I went back, they were sold out. Then I had to re-shop around. Then I found another place. Then they were sold out as well once I went in. And so batteries was a little bit tricky for me, but I did manage to find one within what I was shopping around for, within that price range that I was shopping around for. And I can't remember the store's name, but they have a couple of these solar stores by this location. I can't remember the little center's name, but I'm going to put there's another place close by, is it House of Sun or something like that. I'll put it's not the place where I bought my battery from. I don't think they don't have a website where I bought my battery from, but I'll put a place close by. They've got about 4 or 5 solar stores there. It's in Crown Mines. It's opposite the main macro. It's a little like Chinese mall where they have various solar stores. For me, that's where I picked my battery up from. But I'll put one of the stores does have an online store there, so I'll put the description for them or the link to their website down below as well. And what I'll do is just make it easy. I'll just say I bought my inverter from here. I bought my panels from here, just so you know what each link is referring to. And then installer, you guys are going to have to shop around. My installer, once he was done with my system, he had said to me that, look, he doesn't know if he'll do another installation like this. He prefers buying all his equipment and supplying everything like that. He knows he had no issues in my setup, but I think he did struggle a little bit, like when it was with the setup and installation of like the inverter, because he wasn't too familiar with that specific inverter. But everything is running so far smoothly. But he says he prefers to supply his own things, so I'm not gonna. Should I? No, I don't want to just give people's number. I was going to say, here's the guy's number, but I won't do that because, I don't want people haggling him and hassling him. He doesn't have a website or anything. Shop around. My installer, actually, when I went to Solar Inverter Warehouse to buy my panels, he was there buying some of his supplies. And I chatted to him and I said, I'm looking for an installer. And he said, hey, I'm an installer. So that's also a good way to find an installer is speak to people. When you're if you're shopping around, going in store, speak to people that's around there. Do you know of an installer? That's how I found my installer. All right, guys, I'm not going to drag this video out longer than it needs to be. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.